Thanks for coming. Next, I'd like to, well, first of all, my name is Lee Frigo. I'm the commander of AMVETS Post 4. I'll be your master of ceremonies today. Next, I'd like to start with a salute to the flag. Okay, so if everybody could please stand, and we'll do the national anthem. Sorry, Matt. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance and then the national anthem, okay? So this is Matt Snyder, by the way, with the Massena Central School Band. They'll be playing the national anthem for us. Reset, arms. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Thank you very much. I'd like to welcome everyone here today, especially some of our special guests. We've got Greg Pinkman, our mayor. You can't recognize her. There you go. Sue Beller, thank you for being here. Appreciate your support and helping us put this on. And I know there's lots of other people here, some of which I may not recognize, but I also appreciate your support and showing up today. It means a lot, especially with the weather. On that note, I'd like to thank the people that were able to march with us. And I noticed there was more than I expected actually out there on the street, even though it's a little thinner than normal, but we're still able to brave the weather. So, you know, Veterans Day is a special day when we honor and thank all the brave men and women who have served in the military to protect our country. It's a time for us to show our appreciation for their sacrifices and the freedoms they have fought to defend. On this day, we remember those who have risked their lives and dedicated their time to keeping us safe. We can show our gratitude by learning about their stories, writing thank you letters, and participating in events that commemorate their service. Let's remember the significance of Veterans Day and express our heartfelt appreciation for these extraordinary heroes. Next, I'd like the Chaplain Mike Villeneuve to give the invocation.
Thank you. On behalf of a relative of mine who's no longer with us, PFC Claude Hyde was my hero. He served in the United States Army, went through Normandy, St. Lo, the Battle of the Bulge, and he helped to liberate Buchenwald concentration camp. So he was my hero growing up as a kid. For Veterans Day, O God, eternal Father and everlasting King of heaven and earth, we render your acknowledgement for your supreme domination over us and gratitude for your paternal solitude and watchfulness. We gather here in humble recognition of your divine providence. We beseech you and to usher into our world of confusion and doubt the peace and tranquility which alone can come from you. Bless and protect our nation. Be merciful to our honored dead, the memory whose valor, courage, and heroism inspires us to noble action and to eternal vigilance and the preservation of our priceless liberty. The inalienable rights to enduring happiness. Guide, direct our minds to a thorough understanding of our duties to you, to our country, and to one another. Awaken in our hearts the desires and the will to accomplish the ideals for which this nation exists, so that without our determination and endeavor, there may emerge a better world, a world founded upon faith and understanding, a world dedicated to preserving individual rights and the dignity of each person, a world of tolerance and justice, a world intent on loving and serving you, our Lord and Master. Amen.
Thanks, Mike. Since the founding of our nation, millions of men and women, patriots, have served with honor and valor in the United States military. It is unlikely we still enjoy the company of anyone who was on active duty in the 11th day of the 11th month in the year 1918, Armistice Day, the day we now mark to celebrate our veterans. But make no mistake about it, every veteran has made their contribution to the country and earned its gratitude. Veterans Day is a celebration of the mothers and fathers, sisters and brothers, sons and daughters, all over our country and in all of our lives, who have served or are serving. It's a day of joy, and yet on Veterans Day, we cannot help but also solemnly remember the fallen. Our National Veterans Day is observed by our National Commander Bill Clark at Arlington National Cemetery, among the graves of many thousands of our veterans. Some have lived long into old age, and some just teenagers who gave their lives on the battlefield. But this special day is also observed and celebrated in communities throughout the greatest nation on earth, from sea to shining sea. I'm honored to be here with you today, taking a moment out of our lives to reflect and thank the many who have put their lives on the line in the defense of freedom, liberty, and the American way. Not every veteran has been exposed to the crucible of combat, but most any veteran in any and all eras will tell you that their time in uniform was one of the most important in shaping their lives. They'll credit their time in the military with instilling in them virtues such as discipline and loyalty that have been a part of their character ever since. They'll talk about a bond that joins all of them from all branches of service together. Whether drafted or enlisted, commissioned or non-commissioned, each took an oath, lived by a code, and stood ready to defend our nation. In so many ways, our veterans have shaped the lives we live today, as well as the world in which we live. Today is our day for honoring them, and there are many appropriate ways to show them our love, respect, and appreciation. We honor our veterans by insisting that our nation live up to Abraham Lincoln's promise to care for those who have borne the battle and for their widows, widowers, and orphans. We honor them by never ceasing the search for those missing who have yet to come home. But finally, this Veterans Day, we honor our veterans by celebrating their day with heartfelt joy and appreciation for the veterans in our lives and for the pride our entire country feels for them on this, the day we set aside just for them, our National Veterans Day. Americans never forget. This is what Veterans Day is really about. We remember the brave and honorable men and women who have served in our armed forces since the founding of our nation. 10 years ago, a veteran received overdue but well-deserved recognition nearly a century after his brave and legendary service. William Shimon, pronounced Shimon, was posthumously awarded the Medal of Honor for his World War I heroism. While fighting in France as a member of the Army's 47th Infantry Regiment, Sergeant Shimon repeatedly left cover and exposed himself to enemy machine gun and rifle fire while rescuing wounded comrades over a 3-day period. Even after being shot in the head, he refused to accept medical help until his platoon was safely withdrawn. His bravery inspired his fellow soldiers to recommend him for the nation's highest military award. Senior brass rejected the request, reportedly because Shimon was Jewish and discrimination was far too common. The request at the time was downgraded to a Distinguished Service Cross, the nation's second highest award for military valor. Shimon responded with a humility that epitomizes so many heroes, saying, quote, "War is not about medals. I love my country. I love my men. That's all that counts," unquote. While Medal of Honor recipients are an elite class among the special group of people that we call veterans, Shimon's love for his country and his fellow soldiers is typical of the men and women we honor today. It is a brotherhood and sisterhood, a bond cemented with blood. Just this summer, 6 soldiers risked their lives and gave aid to the wounded while subduing a shooter who opened fire at Fort Stewart, Georgia. The instant reaction of the 2nd Armored Brigade combat team was credited by law enforcement with preventing fatalities. The fast action of these soldiers under stress and under trauma and under fire absolutely saved lives, Army Secretary Dan Driscoll said, before adding, "They are everything that is good about this nation." While not all veterans see combat and express willingness to sacrifice one's life is a requirement that has been part of the commitment for military service since George Washington commanded our first troops. And it is not the only commitment to service that our veterans made. Only about 6% of American adults today have served in the military. Yet it is this small and talented group that enables our communities to function. Chances are that if you surveyed your local police or fire departments, you would find that a disproportionately high percentage of their members are veterans. When an emergency hits, there's a good chance that it's a veteran who is first to respond. In most American communities, July 4th was a day of celebration. For Central Texas, it was a day of horror. Flash floods ravaged Kerr County and killed 138 people, many young girls attending a summer camp. The death toll could have been more than double had it not been for the extraordinary actions of Coast Guard rescue swimmer Scott Ruskin and his crew. The 26-year-old New Jersey native led the search and triage operations at Camp Mystic and is credited with rescuing 169 victims in distress. Ruskin's actions were personally recognized by the Secretary of Homeland Security. He responded with the modesty that is so common among U.S. veterans. Quote, "I'm just doing my job. This is what I signed up for." And I think that any single Coast Guard pilot, flight mechanic, whoever it may be, would have done the exact same thing in our situation. We just happen to be the crew that got the case, unquote, he told the media. Whether it's hurricane relief, defending our interests abroad, or search and rescue, America is fortunate to have such people willing to voluntarily risk their lives for us. When a veteran leaves the military, he or she is likely to be a key contributor to our communities. It may be as a school teacher, construction worker, or first responder. They may be a business owner, real estate agent, or medical professional. Regardless of occupation, Veterans take their mission seriously. They vote in higher percentages than non-veterans. They are more likely to volunteer in their communities, and they are less likely to live in poverty. In short, veterans make our neighborhoods better. By virtue of your attendance here, you have shown an appreciation for veterans. The people here are veterans, friends of veterans, family of veterans, co-workers of veterans, and neighbors of veterans. It's up to us to ensure that every veteran feels that his or her service to this country is appreciated by their fellow Americans. For many veterans, our nation was important enough to ensure long separations, to endure long separations from their families, miss the births of their children, freeze in sub-zero temperatures, roast in faraway deserts, lose limbs, and far too often their lives. Their families serve and sacrifice as well. Military spouses have had to endure career interruptions, frequent changes of address, and a disproportionate share of parental responsibilities. The children often had to deal with changes in schools, separation from friends, and hardest of all, the uncertainty of whether or not mom or dad would live through their next combat tour. Warriors need advocates, and that is why AMVETS and the American Legion exist. We're here to serve veterans, their families, and our communities. Veterans need each other, but more importantly, our country needs our veterans. You cannot fight a war without veterans, and while the idea of a society without conflict is appealing, let us not forget that wars have liberated slaves, stopped genocide, and toppled terrorists. The memories of war, the sacrifices made, and difficulties transitioning to civilian society have taken a toll on too many veterans. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, more than 17 veterans a day take their own lives. Some believe the number is much higher. Regardless, the American Legion and AMVETS believes one suicide is too many, and we call on all Americans, all of us at this gathering, to be the one to save one. Right, not yet. Not yet.
Hold on.
You guys are next. Jim, your command.
Fire.
Yes. You guys,
Better get over.
you guys need to back up behind them, okay? Get behind them.
Scout following behind the rifle.
Behind the rifles.
Not no, you guys stay there. You stay there. What? Port arm. Left, right.
Ready?
Ready.
Salute.
Aim.
Ready?
Fire. Aim. Fire. Aim. Fire. Ready. Run. Raise and arms. Salute. Salute.